What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion, superstar boxer, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, well, he has re-entered into training camp and he's preparing himself for his next showdown. Now, everybody is wondering, what is that going to be? Is that going to be the trilogy match that he's contractually obligated to receive from two-time undefeated heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Tyson the Gypsy King Fury? Or some are speculating that he could be facing off against former IBF heavyweight world champion Prince Charles Martin. And he could be preparing himself, for other ventures. With that said, we know that Tyson Fury, he has stated, as they have entered into talks and negotiations to try and stage an undisputed British heavyweight showdown between himself and fellow countryman, two-time unified heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua. With that said, all parties involved have been admitting that they are still in arbitration with Deontay Wilder. Now, we know Tyson Fury, he too has entered training camp and he's in Las Vegas. So Anthony Joshua has reported to have entered training camp as well down in Miami, Florida. We know things are somewhat still closed up in the UK and the United Kingdom. So there's reports that they have to leave and venture outside the UK to train because gyms are not open, things of that nature. But we saw Anthony Joshua recently in training in the UK. So with that said, it leads me to believe that Deontay Wilder is going to be granted this trilogy match. We saw legendary United Kingdom promoter, Queensberry Promotions CEO, Frank Warren. He came out and he stated that Eddie Hearn has not been telling the truth as far as them agreeing to a site fee. Eddie Hearn stated that they agreed to a site fee for a fight in Saudi Arabia, and that, they're just mulling over the dates and dotting the I's and crossing the T's at this point in time for a summer showdown. Well, Frank Warren, he says he's not of the belief that that's going to happen until at least late August, at the earliest September. So he's saying that, there's a lot to be factored in, and he don't believe that the fight is going to take place anytime soon. He's also of the mindset that it might not take place until November. With that said, we know the last time Tyson Fury was in the ring was February of 2020 when he took on Deontay Wilder and defeated Deontay Wilder with an asterisk by it in the second fight in the highly anticipated rematch in Las Vegas, Nevada. The first fight took place in Los Angeles, California. The second fight took place in Las Vegas, Nevada. With that stated, we know that Deontay Wilder is pushing as hard as he can to receive his trilogy match. Everybody was wondering what's going to be his next move with his training, because we know that there's a situation going on with his former world trainer and legendary boxer in Mark Breland. There's, a disconnect there, to say the least. So with that said, Deontay Wilder parted ways with Mark Breland. And everybody wondered, who is he bringing in? Well, now you see him training with former, I don't want to say Malik Scott is completely retired, but he's training with Malik Scott, former world title contender, star boxer in the sport of boxing. Malik Scott has a high ring IQ for the sport of boxing. Malik Scott is, tapped in. He's a historian in the sport of boxing. Malik Scott was a pure boxer himself, or is a pure boxer himself. Okay, now obviously, Malik Scott, he's never made it to the pinnacle of the sport of boxing, but neither has guys like Freddie Roach. Neither has guys like the late, great Emmanuel Stewart. Neither has guys like today's time legendary trainer Ronnie Shields. Neither has guys like Eddie Reynoso. We look at Freddie Roach. He wasn't the best fighter in the world. Now, you do have some anomalies. You have guys like the late, great Roger Mayweather. He was a world champion. He was a great in the sport. He reached the pinnacle. So you have some guys who are anomalies. But for the most part, Malik Scott is a boxing aficionado, okay? He is a historian in the sport of boxing. He studies the sport of boxing. He has a high ring IQ, and his style is that of what fits Deontay Wilder. Most people, they say Deontay Wilder needs to add some wrinkles to his game, to his approach. He needs to be able to box more, move more. Well, that's perfect. That's what Malik Scott does. He was a fluid boxer. He was a boxer that could bang, okay? We know Deontay Wilder packs a punch because he has the highest knockout ratio in the history of the sport of boxing. So now he brings in a guy like Malik Scott that could add wrinkles to his game. People were saying that he's not a pure boxer. He has no boxing skills. Well, you don't win Olympic bronze medalist if you don't have boxing skills. So he has boxing skills. He stopped Chris Arreola with a jab. All his knockouts, they look different. He sets up Arthur Spilka going backwards on the ropes. He knocked out Dominic Brazil coming forward, blinded him with the jab, came behind it with the straight right hand. He knocked out Luis King Kong Ortiz in the second fight, going backwards, and then stopped suddenly and caught him with a right hand. But he knocked him out in the first fight with an uppercut on the inside. So he has a ring IQ. He has boxing ability. People just get they just get flustered and they just overwhelmed by his power. And that's what you focus on. You don't focus on the fact that he stopped Chris Arreola with a jab. He beat Bermane Stavern. He didn't knock him out. They went 12 rounds. Okay? He knocked him down, but he didn't knock him out. So that means he does have boxing ability. And you bring Malik Scott in, who he can relate to because he's more modern. And he's dealing with Malik Scott, and Malik Scott is adding wrinkles to his game. Malik Scott have a method to his madness. If you ever watch Malik Scott and he breaks down the sport, he breaks down the whys, not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. And he's very technical in his approach. He was very technical in his approach when he was boxing, when he was active, should I say. So with that said, Malik Scott, I believe it's going to be a refreshment, right? I believe that Malik Scott is going to bring something to the table that's very important for Deontay Wilder. The technical aspect, to focus on that technical aspect of the sport of boxing. When you're dealing with a guy like Tyson Fury, big plotting guy that's coming forward, right? Now, the first fight, Tyson Fury was utilizing a lot of movement. Second fight, he was coming forward. Deontay Wilder has the athletic ability, the skill set to offset that of Tyson Fury. And I thought his style already, without any tweaks, was perfectly suited for Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua, he doesn't move his head. He's very robotic at times. He's very technical. He has power, and he's chinny. We saw that he get hurt in multiple fights. So that's the worst thing you could do, is be predictable and be chinny and be robotic and stiff when you're dealing with Deontay Wilder. I believe this is set up for Deontay Wilder to make the biggest comeback, one of the biggest comebacks in the history of the sport of boxing, along the same lines that George Foreman did. Because Deontay Wilder currently is being written off. Deontay Wilder, now I don't know if Tyson Fury would actually get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, because he seems to have some reserve there, okay? But even Tyson Fury has admitted the only guy that could beat Deontay Wilder is me. He stated that none of these other fighters can beat Deontay Wilder. One of the fights that I would love to see is Deontay Wilder versus British heavyweight title contender Dillian Whyte, because there's a lot of talk there. There's a storyline, and I believe it would be a big fight. But with that said, you can see Deontay Wilder. He's preparing himself. He's in shape. And I believe the trilogy match for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is going to be coming down the pipeline. And we know that there's roadblocks with the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight just to begin with, without Deontay Wilder. But the arbitration means something, and I believe that they're going to head into a trilogy match, and I can't wait to see how this all unfolds and plays out. But great news, Deontay Wilder back in training. Let's see what's up next, what's on deck. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. You already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.